The determination of our eternal reward. What determines the level of your authority to reign with Christ in the next age? While they were listening to this, he went on to tell them a parable, because he was near Jerusalem and the people thought that the kingdom of God was going to appear at once. He said, "A man of noble birth went to a distant country to have himself appointed king and then to return. So he called 10 of his servants and gave them each 10 minas. 'Put this money to work,' he said, 'until I come back.' Now, each of the 10 servants in this parable was given a single mina, meaning they all had equal ability. But his subjects hated him and sent a delegation after him to say, 'We don't want this man to be our king.' He was made king, however, and returned home. Then he sent for the servants to whom he had given the money in order to find out what they had gained with it. The first one came and said, 'Sir, your mina has earned 10 more.' 'Well done, my good servant,' his master replied. 'Because you have been trustworthy in a very small matter, take charge of 10 cities.' The second came and said, 'Sir, your mina has earned 5 more.' His master answered, 'You take charge of 5 cities.' The authority we will be given by Christ to rule for him in his kingdom will in part be proportional to the extent of our fruitfulness for him while on earth. Then another servant came and said, 'Sir, here is your mina. I have kept it laid away in a piece of cloth. I was afraid of you, because you are a hard man. You take out what you did not put in and reap what you did not sow.' He said to those standing by, 'Take his mina away from him and give it to the one who has 10 minas. I tell you that to everyone who has, more will be given. But as for the one who has nothing, even what they have will be taken away.' The first servant was rewarded with authority over 10 cities, proportional to the 10 minas he earned for his master. The second servant was rewarded with authority over 5 cities, proportional to the 5 minas he earned. Our authority to reign with Christ in his kingdom will be proportional to the fruit we bear for him in this life. Who then is the faithful and wise servant, whom the master has put in charge of the servants in his household to give them their food at the proper time? It will be good for that servant whose master finds him doing so when he returns. Truly I tell you, he will put him in charge of all of his possessions. But that's not fair, you say. We don't all have the same ability. Some have more ability than others. So of course they can produce more food for God and receive a bigger reward. God's not fair. This is addressed in Matthew 25 in the parable of the talents, where the 3 servants had the same ability. In the Elijah Challenge, we teach you how to be maximally fruitful in winning souls by preaching the gospel as Jesus did and as he taught and commanded his disciples. Heal the sick and tell them the kingdom of God has come near to you. Since 2000, we have trained tens of thousands of disciples and servants of God in over 40 nations around the world. One Indian servant of God has seen over 1 million Hindus come to Christ in a single meeting held in a huge 40-acre tent. Whatever your particular calling as a disciple of Jesus Christ may be, we can train you to be more fruitful for the sake of maximizing your eternal reward at the judgment seat of Christ. Look, I am coming soon. My reward is with me, and I will give to each person according to what they have done. Revelation 22 and verse 12. Watch for our next video in this series. Exactly how do we heal the sick as Jesus commanded his disciples? Is it the same as praying for the sick? We will find out in our next video.